pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Which one are we live with here? Is it the Chrome?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay. I do with it. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda along with the regular April 8th regular meeting minutes and the jail report.
I will second Mr. Crouch's motion. We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Liquor licenses. Amber, you said there's a 5-day Class C for Toby Jack and the Beer Barn.
I would make a motion to approve those two license renewals.
We'll second that motion. Any discussion on those? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Any public comment? Okay, committee updates. Had another MAPPA meeting, finance committee meeting. Nothing earth shattering there. Juvenile detention, we have one county that's hasn't been to any meetings and some of our processes, so it's gonna be interesting to find out what they want and how things will shake out. But other than that, it's nothing special. That's all I've got.
I didn't have any meetings last week.
Yeah, I had two, one with Veterans Affairs, I attended shortly. The topics we discussed was hot dog days coming up, I think it's June 24th. Also discussed a little bit on their getting some things finalized on moving to the annex building. It was coming back and gonna talk, I'd rather talk to you yet, Amber, or not.
Yep.
Okay. And then had a Board of Health meeting last night. I found it very interesting. Thank you, Jack, for allowing me to be there. One thing that they did have, I have asked for years to have a look at their budget, see where they're standing. And they lay it all out in front of you now. Very good. I mean,
They're in really good shape.
it shows the board where they're at, what they're doing, and, you know, where they're headed. So very, very good. Excellent job. all I
Mr. Jacob, you're up.
Yeah. All right. First on the list, resolution 2510 for Kelting Ave Railroad Crossing closure to the BNSF. We've talked about this quite a bit, and Mark's here. We've kind of been in contact. The kind of main thing we've been waiting for is to get full support from the farmers, the landowners in the adjacent area. One of them has kind of given us some pushback over time. I've met with him a number of times, and then the past 2 or 3 times he wanted to kind of push it out and meet more, and then never kind of showed up to those meetings and stuff come up. The last phone call I had with him, I told him we're going to go ahead and move forward with the closing of the railroad crossing there, and that once we close it, if the farmers want it, because it become a dead end, we can install a hammerhead turnaround for them. The last conversation I had with the south owner was that he doesn't want to give up any right of way. That way he can control his own land. I reminded him that we would only be installing the crossing for them, so if they don't want it, then, you know, no harm, no foul.
Hammerhead, yeah.
So, after this official closing, we'll talk with the landowners again and see kind of where they stand now, if they want us to add in more rock and make it wider or not. Also, with this, signing the resolution, I'd like to sign the agreement with the NSF, which is just their closure agreement. In the closure agreement, the NSF has, agreed to donate $15,000 towards the county. Also, I found out, there is a grant program with Iowa DOT that matches whatever the railroad gives. So I filled out that application, sent that in, so that DOT would also provide us with additional $15,000. So effectively, the county would be getting $30,000 to close this crossing. As a reminder, the crossing has been closed since 2019 during the flood, and it's been inoperable and passable since then. So this is more of an official closure at this point. Anything you want to add to that, Mark?
No, I mean, I think you covered it well, but this will allow the company down in that area that, to, continue their expansion and probably add some additional, rail spurs.
Good.
So adding some jobs and some growth to the county.
Good deal.
So we'll set up the barricades, we'll take down the railroad crossing signs. And then we're also going to explore on the west side of vacating that Kelton Ave, which is just gonna get stub road now to serve those, businesses. And make that a private drive. So we'll work with those landowners and see if that's an option we want to move forward with.
Company on the north said they'd be open to taking it as private drives.
Yes.
South.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2510, closure of Kelting Avenue Railroad crossing.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2510, closure of Kelting Avenue Railroad crossing. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call.
Mayberry,
Yes.
Ayers,
Yes.
Crouch.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. You need to sign, Jacob?
Yes.
Everyone.
Railroad agreement. Mark, my understanding, this is kind of the last holdup for the company to expand, right? So
You're waiting on that so that the end could add some capacity there.
Boss down there?
yes. I might be copy of my way out.
Next thing on the agenda is approval of the county 5-year program.
All right, 5-year program we put together every year, approved by the DOT. So when you flip through this, on the left side, you'll see the project, with the description. And then on the right side, you'll see, what year it is scheduled in, fiscal year. So, right, in this coming fiscal year 26, 215th Street Bridge replacement. L63 overlay and widening, so that's from Malvern south to Paddock Ave. Painters Road Bridge. That's down south, near Risk Road. In fiscal year,
We gonna put a bridge there, or was we gonna put a tube in?
we're gonna put a bridge. We looked
That's on
at,
Painter?
yeah, we looked at that. We can get the drainage to work for comfort, but we have to purchase additional right of way.
Okay,
By the time that we have the roadway top, and then we assume 3 to 1 is 10 foot tall, so it's 30 feet, it'll be over 90 some feet wide. We have to take out that fence by right of way, so we're just gonna put a bridge back in and not here.
okay. Well, at one time we talked about,
Yeah. That was our first go-to, and then once we looked at the details of it, it wasn't the best option. Fiscal year 7 and 16, overlay. It's from US Highway 34 through Hastings down to Paddock Ave. You can see some of the funding sources in here. A lot of them use our FM account money. Some of them we have programmed with, from our RPA money, so STDG federal funding. We have H34 widening overlay, so on, old Highway 34 going into Emerson, fiscal year 29. We'll also try and apply for HSIP funds, it's Highway Safety Improvement Funds, which we got $500,000 awarded for L63 South Malvern. Hopefully get the same thing for that going into Emerson. And then I threw on there in the fourth, so fiscal year 2030, Bears Road, mill and fill. It's getting kind of some thumpers on the joints throughout there and a lot of cracks. Kind of snapshot of our construction projects. Again, this is the 5-year plan, construction projects that runs through DOT state money. So anything we would do locally, they don't actually want on here. So an example of Levi Road overlay. If we're not using any state or federal or FM funds, they don't want to see it on the 5-year plan. That's just internally what we would.
Make a motion to approve county 5-year program plan.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the county's 5-year program through secondary roads. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Yes. Yeah.
Next on the list is approval of the secondary road budget. Printed out an explanation for you guys that kind of breaks down some of the larger fiscal items, talks about the revenues, that is depicted in the budget. So I'll kind of run through some of them. Our annual seal coat, reconstruction, 415,000, towards that. Roads we're planning on doing this year would be 225th Street, Trailer Court Road, is what people also know it as. That'll be a full brine and double seal. We will do 250th Street, the edges, like we did on 215th recently. 4-foot grind on the edges, seal just that 4 foot, and then over seal the whole road. So I know we had a gentleman come in here, the edge break coming in, so we'll get that widened back out, so that'll help. We'll do the same thing on 315th Street, still north, north Highway 34, so north of Malvern. And then we are looking at grinding H12. I have to look at the map. And 16 west, it's 5 miles. We plan to grind it only and then leave it sit for a year. So we'll be gravel road for a year and we'll come back next year in our program and reseal that.
When you grind that, do you put anything in with it when you're mixing it up?
We just put fresh rock and millings. You can do oil. We've done that. I haven't done that in the past. I know Mills County has done it in the past. But then our standard kind of just becomes fresh rock on top.
Sure.
Mixed back in there. So that's our plan. So we might get catch a little flack with leaving it gravel. I'll remind people that is what our standard practice has always been. It's just in the last 2-3 years that we started doing everything at once. For leaving it this year, it kind of mostly comes down to budget. There is an added benefit letting it settle and go through a freeze thaw cycle to kind of help get things compacted well. So So overall, it'll be a good product.
Better revenue.
$80,000 budget to Lambert Ave to do maintenance spray. It's down south of the town here and west to the bridge. $350,000 for FM rock. $5,000, bridge inspection, SFBI update. That's for the additional requirements of inspection that we talked about before, pavement markings, culverts, equipment, new grader, replace our belly dump tractor truck, wheeled excavator grapples, new engineered vehicle, crop ceiling attachment, total patcher. That'll help us do some in-house, save some money by doing our own crack ceiling. A new beast snowplow for one of our pickup trucks, and then a couple things for the mechanics and then shop. A little bit, 215 for multiple design contracts, L63 painters, 215th Street Bridge, and then a drainage study that we were looking at and discussed in the previous about going after federal funds for greenwood structures. So finally on there, actually I break that to 20,000 that I had budgeted for part-time employees. Primarily to hire 2 people during summer months for help with the mowing, like we discussed, so that we can focus more on using our hydro seeder and getting some natives established, spraying on guardrails and cutting back those weeds and brushy areas. So open for discussion. Any questions on any of that? The revenues are spelled out in the beginning paragraphs as well.
The belly dump, can it come as a complete unit, or do we have to buy separately one, the belly unit and then the truck? Or
We don't need to replace the trailer, the
Okay.
belly dump, it's
All right.
just the actual truck. So,
Yeah, it's only 125,000 more for a new grader than what it used to be.
I actually talked with the salesman yesterday. We said, how are the prices? And he said, steady from past year. I said, so around 380,000. And he goes, no, what do you mean? And I said, well, that's what we paid last time. He goes, no, that must have been after your trade-in. So we showed him the paperwork and he goes, no, they were close to 415 now. So I guess we'll still be okay because we expect probably about 60,000 or so for a trade-in. So we'll be okay, but just goes to show you how fast things go up. It was a year ago, I think. Well, 2 graders ago, it was 340,000 is what it was quoted at, where we purchased that
And these are
before trade.
cat, right?
So now we're at 415. So that's a pretty good thing.
Okay. Any questions, gentlemen?
I'll make a motion that we accept the approval of the secondary roads FY 26 budget.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the secondary roads FY 26 budget. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You got for general, Jacob.
Safety meeting on Thursday. So yeah, Thursday morning, safety meeting. We're gonna touch on lockout, tag out, a little bit about, severe weather, what to do with that. I've reached out to Emerson and people at the Lake Center in Malvern. Would like to get confirmation from them. We have 2 shops in those locations where severe weather does come. We don't have a tornado shelter in our shop. We have 2 employees at each one to see if there's a local public building that they could go to. Right now, our main focus is preparation. So if we see something coming in the area, we'll tell those guys, come over to Glenwood to our shop or send them somewhere close where we know there's for sure tornado shelter. So we'll discuss that. The DOT's coming down at 8:30 and they're doing flagger training, work zone training. And that'll pretty much wrap up our safety meeting. So should be a good session, potluck lunch afterwards. Y'all are welcome to come down if you'd like.
Thursday morning.
Yep.
What time does it start?
I'll start around 7:30 and then it will probably go to about 11. We've been getting some millings down on the roads, Deacon, loosen down on Lambert, and then 196th Street. And then right now we're doing some shouldering on 195th Street going north. Much needed. We're utilizing those millings. We are purchasing those at $5 a ton less than actual road rock. So we're finding ways, we're blending it with the rock, we use it for shouldering, we use it for seal coat, mixing that back in. And just in the case of seal coat, we put about 1,000 tons per mile, so at $5 savings, I mean, we're saving quite a bit of money. We're gonna save about $25,000 by using that material. Good. Rocks. Finding some creative ways to have a better product and still save money.
Yep.
That's all I got.
Anything else for Jacob?
Yeah.
I do thank the boys, I stopped the other day and I asked them very nicely, I said, please not cut the trees on the cemetery bank.
Mhm.
And Tim McCall was there, he goes, Richard, I'm well aware that there's bodies probably lay, I said, yeah. So, where 6 foot is or where we mow on top.
Yeah.
I'm surprised something hasn't showed up, so.
Yep, no joke. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Fremont County Public Health was, Clint was on his way. I don't think he's here yet. We'll, move on to Aaron first. Is that all right with you?
I'm good.
Aaron, come on up, buddy.
Hello.
How are you, Lauren?
Sure. I just wanted to stop in and let you know that I'm starting the renewal process. And I've already toured several locations on the east side of the county, just to make sure, I took photos just to make sure that what we have is what's there.
Good.
Okay. I paid at the beginning of the last month and was hoping to bring them in earlier, but I didn't get the supplement until just recently. So these are the $1,000 checks that you get from ICAP every year for the grants. So I just wanted to drop that off for you guys. And then I've got the proxy here. That I need to know who the new primary, who the chairman and vice chairman are.
I'm Chair Jack's Vice.
Okay. And Amber, what, do you have a day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that works for us to go over the budget figures?
Not Thursday,
Thursday.
not, but. For Friday morning, if you could,
That'll work for me. Would I be?
9?
Okay. Here in the night. And speaking of ICAP, looks like we're only maybe looking at 8 to 10% this year, not the 25 to 30 increases that we've had in the past. And we've already had the valuations done, so you're not going to get clobbered with the increase in the valuations along with the increase in the rates. So
Would you say 8 to 10?
yeah. So basically, like I said, I just want to stop in, let you guys know that we're starting. I meet each department head.
Good.
Go through all the equipment lists, the vehicles, equipment, and all that. And then everything else I get on the budget from Amber, and that's how they set their rates.
Good.
Okay. I know the liability, all that. There's no rate increases on that. Just the same thing as just about auto's supposed to be saying the same also.
Good.
So, but yeah, and then when we get everything done and send in and get something back, I'll come back to you guys and present it and go from there.
Wonderful.
Okay,
Good.
Thank you, sir.
all right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. All right.
The ones you had that were to us were these two. I don't know if it's one of them or not. That's the only two we had that were sent to us for approval. Sending it to Carol later.
It's one.
What's in one?
It is just one, it's
Okay.
what it is. It's the Mexican rodeo office.
I'll look at it. I'll get it
Okay,
later.
because I did the liquor, I filled it out online and got it all set up, and then they swore to me that they would have it ready. I mean, the driver shop attached by today, so.
I'll let you know.
Okay, sounds great, thanks.
Mr. Sheriff, Mr. Deputy Sheriff. Your Chief Deputy Sheriff, which is
There we go.
official here.
You've got way too many titles.
He does.
I believe Sheriff Schultz was here last week, presented you guys the information on the app. County attorney wanted the change of adding the warrants to it. So the total for it for the 1 year total is $15,534.50. And then after that, we'll have the annual of $7,062.50. That would be the only change. So it went up $995 from when the sheriff was here last week.
And the 15,000 one time.
It's a one-time payment.
Now, do we gotta pay the 7,000 on top of it for this first year?
That's included as
It
part
is
of,
in the
yeah,
50.
that's in that 15.
But then next year,
Next
next time
year
we
we
pay the
see
7,000.
And this is just coming from opioid settlement
It's, yeah,
funds.
it's the opioid settlement.
There's
fund.
only a certain amount of stuff we can use that for.
Correct,
So,
yep, and there's multiple sheriff's offices, I think there are 5 now in the state of Iowa, they're starting to use these funds for it.
Yeah.
So,
it seems like a good use of the funds.
absolutely. Give you a copy of that. That's all I got.
Wonderful. Someone want to move forward with this?
I'll make a motion to approve the sheriff's app at a cost this year of $15,534.50. And then from then on, there will be, till they raise it, annually a fee of $7,062.50, right?
Correct, and I do believe that'd be that 7,000 price for 3 years.
Okay.
Before I get raised.
Does anybody know how many years the opioid fund will fund this into the future?
I believe we have right around 200,000 in our opioid settlement fund, and it's not fully completed yet. We're still getting checks for a certain number of years, so we can have it for quite a while.
So that'll fund the 7,000 annual fee for quite a number of years.
And many other programs. Yes, yes. Richard, if you'll,
There's, when they did this opioid settlement with the state, they put out half of it to the counties. Everybody got a share of that, and the other half, the state put on interest. So the total settlement was brought there, but they only put out half, and they're keeping half, which I think we should be entitled to. I'm saying it was for 15 years, but don't quote me on that. It's been 4 years ago when they did this, and we've gotten settlements coming in regularly. So,
Richard, you'll be fine making an amendment to your motion. I'd like to add that we're specifically utilizing opioid settlement funds,
that's fine with me.
and I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to move forward with the sheriff's app for $15,534.50. For the first payment, $7,062.50 annual for 3 years, paid for with opioid settlement funds. Is there any other discussion?
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. No,
Thank
there-
Sure.
There's a lot of people glad that we're doing something with the opioid money, because what people are wondering, we haven't been able to find out what to do with it.
I will email you because I want to make sure that we have budget money.
Oh, okay.
I'll show.
And
If
if
that works.
anyone is interested, tomorrow morning at 8:30,
What's that?
across the street at the Legion Hall,
Sure.
there is a
Dawn,
breakfast
yeah.
and a short program on opioid.
Okay, Mr. Blackburn's not here yet, so, Mr. Piper, would you like to move forward?
We're just gonna hold off on that this
Gonna
time.
hold off on it? Okay. Okay. Brings us to 9. Back here. Clint said he just pulled in, so, okay.
He'll be here in a couple minutes. We discussed this last night at Public Health
Yeah.
and things, and I think it's good that we cooperate with our fellow county down there. You know, I received, this is on home health care alone. I received from 4 other counties around the state of Iowa. They was wondering, how do we handle home health care?
That's been a topic on base camp too.
Right, why are we doing it, you know? I said, it's
Why
plain
and
and
how?
simple. We're taking care of our people. And a lot of people go, oh, kind of like, well, they've never, they've either had a hospital or a nursing company or somebody like that do it. Now that they're not, they've give up on it. Now they gotta do it themselves, they're going. So,
Well, a lot of these rural hospitals specifically in like northern Iowa, they're just disappearing or
Yeah.
going away.
yeah, that's too bad. I mean, we're fortunate that we still got Red Oak open.
Yeah.
So. I know we have 2 in Council Bluffs, but I don't know, is Hamburg still
Hamburg does,
viable?
from what I
But
know.
they cut out the home health care part of the health department for Fremont County, so.
Yeah. Well, Matthew, were you guys able to come up with some sort of agreement for your services, or is this kind of?
I just kind
preliminary?
of gave him a short thing and said, you gotta talk to vets on this, so.
Okay. I think we're-
We don't let you sit.
Nah, come on, I'd rather sit.
Just kind of discussing what the proposal may be or what you're looking for.
Good.
Working with Matthew.
Yeah. Good. So, just a quick recap, we're without a sanitarian right now. We reached out to Lonnie, seeing if we could work out some sort of collaboration of,
We can do that.
and we don't need full services, just if we have some inspections, septic installs, stuff like that going on.
Sure.
Just kind of in the emergency situations. We did, just a quick update on ours, we interviewed a handful of candidates. I think we got a good one. It'll just take a little bit of an onboarding process. And we didn't know how fast we were gonna get them when we started this. But at the same time, like me and Lonnie were talking, it's like, if we can work this out, if you guys ever got in a pinch and we had a good one, I think it'd be a good neighborly agreement to help each other out. So,
Vacation 6.
yeah, so a little fill in.
Vacation, what's that?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
As long as you can handle this. I mean, you and I have had some discussions. I don't want to overload you and I still want to
No,
make sure that we're taking care of our people here, so.
It's still relatively slow right now. I don't see anything coming down. It'll take me a little bit of time to kind of figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
His priority will be Mills County.
Yeah, and like you say, we don't have nearly as much going on as you guys do up here.
Mhm.
I come from a construction background, so I know when there's a home sale or build or loans holding up on a septic inspection or something like that, I want to be able to provide the residents with that. We're not asking for you to do water tests and those things, but that would be our main thing is just to try to keep business and progression going. Sure.
Yeah, I've even had some installers call me.
Yeah.
Say, are you open those, or
Right,
Fremont County
right.
yet? Not yet.
Not yet.
I got it.
How about the fee structure? Have you guys discussed this with?
We really,
anyone yet?
I haven't.
Really?
No.
Okay,
I know standard is my pay plus 10%
and then mileage,
and mileage.
right?
And I'm assuming we'd have to do like a 20-year meeting
Yes.
between the counties.
Yeah,
to make
I'd like some
everything
formal
official.
agreement.
Yep.
Run
And
that through the attorneys.
We had a board of health last night and we talked about that. So, I know Peter was aware, get things drafted up, whatever we need to do.
Who's gonna drive the bus on this with the 2080?
I'm sure I'll get on storage start off.
You're,
So,
you're,
yeah,
you're
I'll-
hired.
I'll-
Motion second.
I'll,
unanimous.
yeah, absolutely. I'll get Peter working on it and you can get back to work.
Any county attorney.
Quickly as we can.
Yeah,
I'm happy to help.
Well, it'll take a little while. I think our board meeting's tomorrow, so as long as the board of supervisors approves our recommendation from the board of health, we'll start with the hiring process. As we all know, there will be some onboarding, training. It doesn't start tomorrow. We'll know what's going on. So I anticipate maybe a few times.
Should we have a motion to move forward or just general discussion now and then as this gets farther along? we can-
Discussion now.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a 2080 agreement next week or week after sometime, so.
Right on.
Good. Works for me.
Right
As long
on.
as you guys play nice together, we're good.
We're pretty easy to get along with for the most part.
Yeah, so are we.
I actually think we're related somehow.
That doesn't
Uh-oh.
surprise me.
Uh-oh.
I'm related to a lot of people.
So am I.
Yes. Yes. Perfect.
Okay.
Right on.
Just stay in touch with each other and keep the attorneys involved.
Sounds like a plan. Right on. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very
Right on.
much, Glenn. Appreciate it.
Yep. Have a good day.
Okay. 51. Hold off till 9. Since we posted this at 9 o'clock, we'll move forward right at 9 with the Silver Springs. That works for you guys. Someone like to dance or entertain us for the next 8 or 9 minutes? We'd welcome that. No takers?
I think there's only one young person in the
No
room.
takers. You don't want to see me dance, that's for sure.
I'm not dancing.
Got the lead foot down. How are you, Mr. Chad?
Good, how are you guys?
Good. You have one up in Ames also?
I do.
As do I.
So far, so good, evidently.
Yeah,
Quiet.
right. She just sent me a text that she needs her truck at the parking lot by 2:30, so. Might have to walk home when I do it, but.
Yeah.
Short walk.
She could probably do it.
Yeah. Hmm. Any good news on the dispatchers week yet? Anybody, any buzz, any happiness, any events going on?
I don't know if they're actually holding any event.
I haven't
I
heard
don't
of any.
think they are. But from what it seems like, people can buy them lunch and dinner and breakfast and observe it.
Absolutely.
Don was actually posted on the state, I think the state telecommunicator website, because of just how phenomenal
Yeah.
she is. So
Good.
it's good that we have her in our office.
Pull that up. I can look for myself.
Did they come and visit it? Line up the building.
I didn't notice it yet. Yet this morning. Saw they did the courthouse here, but I haven't seen any others. I haven't been around town like lately though, so. Last year the square was lit up. They had quite a few of them.
Here's one there.
Anybody find any more else? Let's get serious here. I haven't found any yet. See on Facebook, there's a few people that have found some south, but. That time of year. We still have some frozen from last year.
They're just as good.
They really are.
Rain Sanders is better. Or else I think.
Who?
Rain Sanders.
Oh, yeah.
You ought to ask her.
Yeah, but she
She's
did
found
it.
it.
Goes out,
She's probably the first person in Mills County to find them every year.
probably.
Hey, Bonnie?
Yes.
Are you stopped for a
We
second?
have 5 minutes.
Okay. And Denver, You can come too.
Sorry, I didn't respond to your email, John. I saw what it was.
Oh, that's fine.
I'll talk to you after the meeting. Took a short trip. My dad and I flew out of Chicago on Wednesday to Berlin. And then from Berlin, took a train to the American Cemetery in Maastricht, Netherlands. And then Sunday and Monday we're in Amsterdam, and then flew back yesterday, got back at midnight last night.
It's like a slingshot.
It's quite the slingshot. It was one trip, I tell you what. It was good though. It was good. But I didn't have any service. Couldn't check my emails, which was a blessing.
Said it was the American Cemetery.
Yeah. My great grandpa's brother is buried there. It's a good trip.
I guess you're the one in Normandy, no, the one.
You been to Normandy?
Yeah, I lived in Spain for a while.
Oh, okay. Exchange student?
Started that way and I just stayed.
Fair enough. You got a meeting coming up, Mark, for economic development? Is that this Thursday or next week?
This Thursday.
Thursday?
Yep.
Okay, I won't be able to be there.
Okay.
Victor, are you gonna be able to go to that?
Well, I think I might as well, because I can't get my planner man to show up, so I'll just set it inside as a set.
Who's your planner?
Outside. Rodney Henry.
I know the lady that has it off.
Lives right on the Missouri border,
Oh, well, yeah.
next gen technology.
We did get our annual meeting set too, so that should be Tuesday, June 24th. So love to have you guys there as well. So it's either gonna be 4 to 6 or 5 to 7. It's gonna be Malvern, Lincoln Center.
The same style of meeting as
Same.
last year.
Be similar.
Yeah.
Debbie Durham is gonna be our speaker.
Good.
So it'll be nice to have her come up to the, so. But we'll get you formal invites, everything out, but,
Appreciate it.
yeah, it should be, I think it'll be a good meeting.
June 24th, you said?
Yeah, Tuesday,
Either 4 to 6 or 6 to
5 to 7.
5 to 7.
I think last year's 4 to 6, but I think they push it just so that people have time to get there. And we'll have a little bit of a social beforehand and then the program.
Good. One more minute. Nice to see that we get a little bit of money from that. 9 o'clock, good.
I'll make a motion to open the Silver Springs final plat public hearing at 9 a.m.
Second,
We have a motion and a second to open the public hearing time at 9 a.m. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
I,
Public hearing is open.
We've had received written oral comments prior to the meeting regarding.
Anyone else like to speak on it? Go ahead.
Yeah. But last time,
State your name, please.
Neil Green,
Neil Grape, okay.
last time I was here on this, we talked about whether an impact study would be done or not. And I don't know that one has been done on how that's going to affect the roads in that area.
Has there been an impact study done?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't know that we've required one here in our specs. I do recall discussing it, but I don't recall moving forward with it. You say on roads and water, is that what you were looking at?
Yes.
Something we may want to put in our subdivision ordinance. We'll discuss it with our engineer, but I don't know that we've moved forward with anything on that, so we'll get his opinion on it, see what he has to say.
We already have issues with the road and the dust. And then we have to pay $1,000 a year just to oil the road. This is going to add more traffic.
Oh, side up. Watch.
New Village.
Because
Excuse me, you be just to the north?
a lot of traffic that comes through that.
Yeah. On 275th, is that where you guys are?
Anyone else from the public have any comments?
Just concerned about, so did
Chad? You know Chad.
Chad McAllister, 19 lots, is that what we ended up with for final? 18. Okay. What's the distance again between a well and a septic tank? Requirement.
Public health question. We do our environmental guy. There is a separation, Chad, but I don't know what that is right now.
Okay. I just, when you get into the 18 lots out there and about 20 of those acres are tied up in that ditch, you're gonna have some spatial issues where if a neighbor places a well on a property line, or near a property line, now the next lot can't, they're gonna be limited where they can place a well or a septic. Is that correct?
That is correct. With our ordinance lot size requirements, and this meets and exceeds all of our minimum size requirements. And with those size requirements, spacing was discussed and used for consideration when we set our ordinance. So I know that that has been looked at and addressed, and 2 acres in the 300 by 300 minimum, which, like I said, meets and exceeds. That was enough when we laid it out, but placement does have something to do with it. Yes, yeah. So that's something we'll have to look at on each spot.
Right.
Any other comments from the public?
I guess my only question is does the cul-de-sacs need to turn it around for school buses? Or
Yeah, that's something Jake went out and worked with Henry on, and they are widths and size requirements has been met by Jake, and Jake said he had no questions with it now.
Okay,
You and him have worked together on this already, haven't you, Henry?
Also, the maintenance of the, Jacob wanted some form of structure to make sure the private roads are maintained. That's built into a share program within the covenants of the subdivision.
Homeowner association kind of thing.
So if you're on one road and there's 6 lots, you pay 1/6, whether it's in front of your house or not.
Yep.
If you don't, that's just where you take it to the property tax rolls and you go from there.
Any other comments from the public? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'd make a motion to close the public hearing at 9:06.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing at 9:06. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Crouch?
Aye.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is consideration of formal action, resolution 25, approval of Silver Springs final plat.
I'll make the motion to approve resolution 2511, approval of Silver Springs final plat.
Second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2511, approval of Silver Springs final plat. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's do a roll call, Amber.
Crouch,
Yes.
Sayers,
Aye.
Avery.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Any new business?
Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Think I have anything? Mr. Crouch?
Nope.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 9:07.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn at 9:07. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.